Hey folks, B59 here. Welcome back to my Piasa transport playthrough of Transport Fever 2. We've been focusing on the mid-Mississippi region, building out the Ohio River transport system, the mid-Mississippi, and in the last couple episodes we've been building out our passenger service on the Missouri River all the way up to Omaha and down to St. Louis. Today we're going to get back into a little bit of tricky cargo line work, and this is kind of one of the really neat things about this map. There are cities kind of placed around the region that all need different resources, but it doesn't always lend itself to an easy full both way sort of line. And so I've been looking at this today, and I'd really like to kind of finish off our Ohio River lines. And right now we have ferry transport between Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville, and Evansville. We have Evansville getting bricks and bread, Louisville getting bricks and bread, and Lexington getting bricks and bread. Cincinnati is getting fuel, but it's not getting tools. So right now our tools factory in Memphis is underutilized, so we need to figure out how to get those tools up to Cincinnati. And I think the way we're going to do that is we're going to call into play a couple of the lines we have that are currently underutilized. One of those is this Cape Girardeau to Memphis line. It brings it brings planks from Cape Girardeau down to Memphis so that Memphis can build tools for Memphis at the moment. And then it takes food back up from Memphis to Cape Girardeau. But that's a fairly unbalanced line because Cape Girardeau only needs 49 food, and that line has a rate of 154, and we need to actually bring that up as well because it's not shipping enough planks down to Memphis. So we'll do that as part of this process. But still, that is way more than the amount of bread we're going to be bringing back to Cape Girardeau on an annual basis. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this line to bring tools up from Memphis along with the bread and drop it off here at our Cape Girardeau wharf. And then we're going to take our Evansville-St. Louis line, which is taking steel from Evansville, which it got from Cincinnati. But anyway, it's taking that steel to St. Louis for the machine factory, but it's returning empty at the moment. So what we can do is have it pick up tools right here in Cape Girardeau and take them back to Evansville. And so now it's doing a little bit of work on the return trip. In order to make all of this distribution work, we're going to need to make some changes to our Evansville and Cincinnati run and our Evansville and Memphis run as well, but we'll get to those when we get to them. We're going to start with Cape Girardeau and Memphis. And the first thing I want to do is get a larger dock in at Memphis. And I'm going to do that. Oh, let's bring up our stations on the... There we go. And let's configure this. I'm going to end up putting the Cape Girardeau St. Louis line on this new dock. And we're going to go ahead and make it another big dock, and we're just going to put it right there. Hopefully it won't break anything. We'll give it a big old landing. And it appears we have preserved our navigable waters. Looks like barely, but it's been done. And then on this wharf, we're going to change, first of all, our Cape Girardeau St. Louis run to Terminal 1. And now it's not going to bump up against the capacity limits it was experiencing before. Then we're going to go into our Cape Girardeau Memphis line, and we're going to manage that line. And we're going to tell it at the Memphis wharf, in addition to loading bread, we would like you to load tools. And then we're going to add another ship to you as well so that you can bring more planks down to Memphis. On that, and here comes that ship, and we'll just go ahead and get it named. And now we've done what we need to get that line running. So the other thing we need to do now is to modify our Evansville-St. Louis line. And, you know, it still needs more boats, but at the moment, let's just focus on getting this part correct. We're going to manage this line so that we're going to add a stop after St. Louis here at Cape Girardeau, and we will load tools in Cape Girardeau, and then at Evansville we will unload tools. Previously we weren't unloading anything there because we were just picking up the steel to take back down to Evansville. So that's done. And now we get into the bit of, look at all those boats. There are so many boats. Of having to redo our lines here to accommodate the delivery of these tools that are going to go from, that are going to collect at Evansville, and we're going to take them up to Cincinnati. So we'll modify this line, and what we had been doing was having it pick up bricks or pick up food in Evansville to take to Louisville, but we're going to change that now and have it pick up tools instead, and we're going to drop the Louisville portion of that line altogether. So now it picks up fuel and tools in Evansville and unloads steel, and then up in yes, we need to tell it up in Cincinnati to unload fuel and tools. So with that, we've completed the tools chain up to Cincinnati, and we'll check on that in a minute to see if it's working. But we need to do one other thing as well. Since we stopped delivering the bread that was collecting in Evansville for Louisville and Lexington, we need to start having the Evansville-Memphis line drop this off. So we need to, in Louisville. So we're going to add one more station after Memphis, have it come up here to Louisville, and drop off just food that will end up supplying Louisville and Lexington. So that was it. It was all done with our existing lines and just modifying them to create these more efficient resource transfers. You know, I love this view right here of the river because it is just loaded with boats. Apropos of 1885, I believe. Okay, so let's just take a peek now at our tools factory, and let's see if it's accepting Cincinnati yet as a consumer, and it's not. So let's just check our lines. We come from Cape Girardeau to Memphis, and on this line in Memphis we are loading tools, and in Cape Girardeau, we are not unloading the tools. So that should, so in Cape Girardeau we load the tools. Oh, no. Okay, let's try this again. In Cape Girardeau, we load the tools, and that's wrong. We don't. we unload them. In Memphis, we load the tools. Okay, Memphis, we load the tools. And Cape Girardeau, we unload the tools. Okay, I think that might have been our problem. Let's see now if St. Louis is showing up. Still not. Maybe it needs more planks delivered first. Look at all that food. Okay, so now you had some planks delivered. Cincinnati is still not showing up. So in Cape Girardeau, our Evansville-St. Louis line, we're going to manage that line. And in Cape Girardeau, it is loading tools. And in Evansville, aha. Oh, no, it is unloading tools. Okay. So that looks complete. And then Evansville to Cincinnati. In Evansville, it is loading tools. And then Cincinnati, it is unloading. So maybe it's just a matter of time before this. Oh, I know what we need. We need a delivery. And let's see. Where is a drop off for the fuel? Let's turn on our UI. Stops. Okay. And we see we need coverage, basically. I think we need broader coverage than we're going to get there. Yeah, I think we need another drop-off spot. So we've got this one, and we'll put another over here. So let's get that in. Yeah. And then on our line over here, we want to manage this line to add another drop off here. And we're going to unload everything. Here we're going to unload everything basically. And here we will load tools as well. Okay. Now our chain is hopefully complete, and we can go back to Memphis and see if it's all connected up now. And it is. So Cincinnati is now registering, demand is starting to build, and we're going to start seeing some shipping out of Cincinnati with these tools, or rather into Cincinnati with the tools. I think what we want to consider now is how to get bricks into Cape Girardeau. Memphis is getting its tools and fuel. Cape Girardeau is getting bread, but it's not getting any bricks. And it wants 47. There's a couple of places we could bring the bricks from. And one is over here in Jefferson City. The Jefferson City, let's just take a look at this line. So the stone is 400, but right now we're only doing 200 because we probably need to add another consumer for this construction materials plant in order to boost it up to the next level. So we can do that by shipping from Jefferson City to Cape Girardeau. Or I was wondering if we just bring it to St. Louis here. No, when I set this up originally, this St. Louis line, I debated whether to put it on this side of the river or this side. And I chose here, and I kind of wished I had done it here. Because what we could do is we're still going to have plenty of capacity on this Evansville-St. Louis run to not only pick up the tools in Cape Girardeau that are being held for Cincinnati, but also to carry the brick down from here to there. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. Now the question is, do we want to create a new line, or do we want to have the boat coming in from Jeff City come all the way around here, which is a little bit out of the way, and it doesn't actually make us any more money because the distance we're traveling is a big U. We have the money, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I think the way we'll do it... What I would like to try to make sure that we do is we preserve this catchment area. And what I don't know is if we put something down here, if it will have that reach. So you know what? For now, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to make the boats travel an extra distance. So that's what we're going to do. We do need, however, to get a cargo line up here. And what is the extent of our navigable waters? Just to there. It doesn't come up that other river at all. So what we could do is we could put a cargo dock. We could extend this with a cargo dock, or we could put one on this side of the river. I'm somewhat inclined... So I'd rather not be putting more traffic over this bridge. It's already pretty busy. So I think what I will do is see about getting a cargo dock over here. We'll try a small one at first and see how that goes. But we probably will need, again, to make it one of the small ones and get rid of the ferry building like we've been doing. Let's see here. Is there room? There's room right there. That's what we're going to do right there. Okay, then we'll go in and configure it. I'm going to pause since we did break the navigable waterway. We'll get this in. We'll delete. We'll delete. And we will... Oops. Let's get rid of this. You gonna let me put a landing in there? You do. Wow, and we already have a connection to the road. It's ugly, but it doesn't matter. And but I'm wondering, I wonder if we could. We're gonna need to deliver to this harbor. So we are going to need a really kind of short delivery line. You know, let me just double check to see if this perhaps... Oh, it does. You know what? We won't. It has a catchment for there. Awesome. Okay, so that was worth it. That was totally worth it. And now we're going to create a new line. And we're going to run it from Jeff City to St. Louis. I'm lost. What I'm looking for, here we go. And let's make this one quite red for the moment. So we can see, yeah, it's running from here, coming all the way down and going to there. And in Jeff City, we will load bricks. St. Louis South, we will unload bricks. And then we will once again modify our, well, let's name this one. We're going to call this barge. Jeff St. Louis bricks. And we'll manage the line. Okay, we've already told it that bit of it, but we need to now also oh, that's the one that's carrying it only has a, okay, so this is our plank barge. And right now, it doesn't have enough capacity. We need to double that. So we are going to add another vehicle. It's going back empty at the moment. So maybe that's the one that we start to bring the bricks back down into Cape Girardeau with. We'll clone that. And then we'll modify it so that in St. Louis, it's unloading the planks. And it's loading bricks. And in Cape Girardeau, it's loading bricks and loading planks and unloading bricks. Okay, so now that line is secure too. Final piece is the delivery bit. And so we're again going to come into our delivery line. And now we say it's Cape Girardeau food, but we're going to tell it to also load bricks and on Cedar Street to unload everything. So that's good. So now we should have a complete line there. We may need to add some more vehicles, but we'll wait on that for now. And so there we go. We now have completed the resources all up and down the Ohio. We've completed them for Memphis and hopefully Cape Girardeau, and we're going to check now in Jeff City to see whether this construction plant has recognized Jeff City, and it has. It's going to ship 58. We're shipping 100%, and we're still at 200 here, but when this, this one might be on its way to upgrading, and when it does, then we'll probably be able to increase our rate of stone as well. Okay, I think that's good for today. We have done some logistic work, and with this part of the network kind of complete now, I think it's time to start thinking about expanding. And we have a couple directions we can go. We can go up the Mississippi River to the upper Mississippi. We can do the lake here, or we can start to go south and expand down the lower part of the Mississippi. And this is a very tempting one to me. There's quite a big gap here between Memphis and Vicksburg. But there's a lot of opportunity down here to build on a network. So between episodes, I'm going to take a look at these options, think about what we want to do. But I feel like we're making real good progress, and I love this little ant line of boats. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.